Sairam students, I welcome all of you once again to the new chapter of the General Science. So students, today we are going to start with the new lesson, and the new lesson we are going to start, that is lesson number 13, sound. So let's start with the new lesson today. So student, can you see the different type of the images in this screen? Yeah, what you see here, can you tell me that? The first image is the chirping of the bird. This image shows that the crackling of the crackers. Okay, then the two girls are gossiping with each other. A boy is using the fluid, and this is the honk, and the dog is barking here in this picture. So in this picture, student, a different type of the sounds has been produced, right? So you must have seen that few sounds are pleasant to our ears and few sounds are very harmful for our ears. They are not that much pleasant. Apart among the all these type of the various type of the sound, few sounds they annoys us very easily, and the few sounds we like them, right? So about them only we are going to learn. So as you can see that, you must have seen that there is a lot of diversity in the innumerable sound that we hear on the daily basis. So as you can see that few sounds are soft, whereas a few sounds are loud. Few sounds are pleasant, that means we like them, and the few sounds are unpleasant, we don't like them at all. Like for example, if I talk to you over here regarding the music and the song that feels very pleasant to our ear if we listen to them in the low volume. If the music, if it is in the louder volume, then it becomes unpleasant, and that makes our heartbeat very faster, and it makes us unstable for a while. So that means what? It creates a unpleasantness. Suppose if you are stuck up in a traffic, and in a traffic lot of vehicles are honking their horn. So that means what? It makes our ear, they makes us annoy very easily. So the unpleasant noise, right? So there are few noise which are pleasant, and there are certain noise which are pleasant as well, right? So as you can see that over here, some sounds are loud and they can be heard very easily, while some are very soft, cannot be heard unless we listen to them very attentively. We like some sounds, on the other hand we get easily annoyed by some other sounds, right? So when students, now I want to ask you few questions, you have to answer them, you have to think about them very carefully. When a song is being played on a radio or the music system, see, you can try this at home, okay? So try to play a radio or a music system in the house. Now what you have to do, you have to place your hand on its speaker. So when you place your hand on the speaker, what do you feel, students, when you place your hand on the speaker? Can you tell me that what you feel? Yes. So we feel when we keep our hand on the speaker, that time we feel certain type of the vibration. Our hands also starts vibrating. You must have felt that. Now do one thing. Put off the music, and what do you feel now? So when you put off the music, that time we don't feel any type of the vibration. The music system becomes very stable. Alright. Now students, I would like to ask you the next question. Take a rubber band as shown in this picture and try to stretch it as shown in this picture. Take a rubber band and stretch it like it has been shown in the picture. Now pluck the stretched rubber band in between. So likewise you have to hold the rubber band, and from the center you have to pluck the stretched rubber band. Alright. So when you pluck the rubber band, what you notice? You notice that the rubber band is moving, it is vibrating, it is in the motion, it is going in the forward and the backward direction. Am I right? Now I would like to ask you the next question. Spread some sawdust or mustard seed or sand on the diaphragm of a tabla. Can you see this tabla? On the tabla you spray some powder or the mustard seeds, or you can even spray the sands also. Now knock on the diaphragm lightly with the finger. So like you can see that over here on this image, you can see that a person is knocking the diaphragm of the tabla. So what you notice when the person is knocking the tabla? Yeah, can you see that the mustard seeds or the sand, they are moving, they are not stable. they are moving from one place to the another place. So what do you see happening so long as the tabla makes a sound? What happens when the tabla stops? When we are playing the tabla, the mustard seeds and the powder, they are vibrating, they are spreading, right? But when you stop playing tabla, the mustard seed, they don't move. The powder will also don't move. The diaphragm of the tabla, that will also become very stable. Am I right? So that means what? In all the three cases, like you must have seen that in the stretching of the rubber band, in the playing the tabla, and when you keep your hand on the music system, in all these cases, you must have seen that certain type of the movement, right? The objects that produce sound, whatever objects that produce sound, that is, so far we have spoke about the diaphragm of the speaker, the rubber band, the diaphragm of the tabla, they all show certain type of the movement, right? That is, they have certain kind of the motion. They oscillate very very rapidly. In other word, all these things, they vibrate very rapidly, right? So the vibration of any object, that causes the sound. So can I say that the vibration causes the sound? So vibration is responsible for causing the sound. The sound could be the sweet, and the sound could be the soft, or it could be the pleasant, or it could be the unpleasant. So the moral of the story, the vibration of any object, it causes the sound. So you can see that over here, a vibration of an object is necessary for the production of the sound. As long as the object vibrates, the sound is heard. When the vibration stops, the sound also stops. So as much as the vibration is there, the sound will be heard. When the vibration will be stopped, the sound will also stop, right? So that means what? The object due to which the sound is produced. The object due to which the sound is produced, this is called as what? Source of that sound. So sources of the sound could be different, right? So I hope so students, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. So shall we revise once again whatever we have learned so far in this chapter? So students, in this chapter you must have seen that there are so many diversity in the innumerable sound, right? There are certain sound which we hear, they are very soft. There are certain sound which are very loud. So like I told you that the music, when we play the music, that creates very pleasant, that creates the happiness. But if that music is very loud for very longer time, then that disturbs us, right? That makes us very uneasy. So that is called as what? Unpleasant sound. So suppose if you are stuck up in the traffic and the honking of the horn, that makes us very irritated, right? So even the sound which is produced at the traffic, that is very very unpleasant. If the people are talking very loudly, that is also very unpleasant sound, right? So students, there are the category of the sound which we have divided, right? So as you know that over here, some sounds are very loud and they can be heard very easily. But the soft sound, they can't be heard very easily. We have to pay attention to them very carefully. Like for example, have you observed the doctor? So when the doctor puts the stethoscope on our chest, so they hear the sound of the heartbeat very carefully. That means what? The heartbeats, they can't be heard very easily. You can try this at your home right now also. Keep your hand on your chest. Keep your hand on your chest. Close your eyes and try to listen to your heartbeats. Close your eyes. Hold your hand on your chest, and you have to keep your right hand on the left chest. Keep your right hand on the left chest and close your eyes and try to listen your heartbeats. So when you try to listen your heartbeats, then heartbeats are very soft. They have the low volume. We can't hear them very easily unless and until we pay attention to them very carefully, right? So that means what? Some soft sound, they can't be heard very easily, we unless and until we pay attention to them, right? So we like some sound, on the other hand we get annoyed by some other sound. Are you getting my point, students? So I gave you the example of the three stuff. I gave you the example of the loudspeaker. I gave you the example of the stretch band, and I again gave you the example of the diaphragm of the tabla. So you must have noticed that when you put your hand on the loudspeaker, so the loudspeaker starts vibrating. When you put off the music system don't vibrate. When you press the rubber band will be in the moving place. And one more thing, when you pour the sawdust or the powder on the tabla, and when you start knocking the tabla, the sawdust and the mustard seed, they will also start vibrating. But when you stop knocking, the mustard seed also don't move. The sawdust will also not move. That means what? Can I say that the vibration is very, very important for creation of the sound. So that's why they have certain kind of the motion. They oscillate very rapidly. In other word, they have the vibration. Right? So can I say that the vibration is very, very important for creating any type of the sound? Are you getting my point, students, over here? So the vibration of object is necessary for the production of the sound. As long as the object vibrates, the sound is heard. When the vibration stops, the sound also stops. The object due to which the sound is produced, it is called as the source of that sound. I hope so, students, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. So students, please write down all the definition, whatever I have discussed so far in your notebook. So you will be writing each and every slide in your notebook. So when the next time we will revise all these things, it should be remain in their notebook. So are you getting my point over here? So I hope so, whatever we have learned today, you must have understood that. So you must have try to learn the difference between the soft sound, pleasant sound, and try to get the difference between the unpleasant sound and the loud sound. So I hope so now you will get the difference between both of them. Alright, so we will stop here, students. We will continue this chapter in the next session. Bye bye, take care.